welcome back to my channel and welcome to the 5th and final episode of Foundation 5. Of course, we will be having the roundup video tomorrow, but this is the last official testing out first impressions wear test video that I am doing for this season. So today we are trying out the new e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation. Little disclaimer, this is not the right shade for my actual skin tone, but we're making it work because this foundation has either just recently launched, like within this past week, or is launching within the next few days or the next week, because it's supposed to officially launch at the end of January, which is when this video is kind of going up, of course, but it was kind of sort of leaked or something on Ulta. It's not e.l.f. site. It's not available to buy on e.l.f. site. But on Ulta's site, they released like 12-ish shades. So I picked up the one that was the closest to me that was available to buy and was not out of stock, because I just really wanted to include this in this series for you guys so you could, see how it works before you actually buy it if you are interested in actually buying it. When this foundation launches, it will launch in 30 shades. Right now, as I am doing this video, recording this video, it is only available in 12 shades on Ulta's site. It is not available to purchase yet on e.l.f.'s actual site. I don't know if it was leaked or something happened, but whatever, I was able to pick a shade up to try out for you guys to see how it applies, wears, and all of that good stuff. So we are just going to ignore the fact that I kind of look like an Oompa Loompa right now. Let's get into some of these claims. First, before we do that though, let's talk about the price. This retails for $11. Like I said, it will launch in 30 shades when the collection officially launches. It says it is a long wear buildable formula with medium to full coverage. It provides a natural or kind of like a semi-matte finish, and it's supposed to be airbrushed, shine-free, and kind of just even your complexion. It is great for all skin types with oil control skin concerns. So that's kind of, if you have extra dry skin, I don't know if this would work with the oil control thing that it's saying here, since if you have dry skin, you don't have a lot of overabundance of oils. It also says it is non-comedogenic. There's a powder sponge included, which I did use to apply on one side of my face, which you will see in the application portion. And then it says it also is cruelty-free. It also says that it kind of includes a built-in primer. I didn't know that, so I went ahead and used the hard candy primer that I've used for every other episode of this series. But once again, when I do the roundup video, I will have tried this a few more times, and I will try it without a primer in my real life, if that makes any sense. Also, it says that it is formulated without talc, which is pretty good. I know a lot of people like to avoid talc. Also, it is formulated without phthalates and parabens, and a couple of other things that are considered toxic. It does say to use the included sponge to apply it. As you will see in the application portion, I will be applying it with the puff sponge thing that is included in here on this side, and the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush on this side of my face, because as you probably know by now, I like to try a few different application methods when I am doing the initial impressions video, so you guys can kind of see how it applies in action with a couple of different application tools. I'm really excited about this. I have tried e.l.f. products in the past. I've tried the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, the hydrating version, and the matte version. I've also tried the e.l.f. CC Cream. Unfortunately, I can't use it very much because it does break me out, but I am excited to try this. I love e.l.f. overall as a brand, so I was excited to see this launch. I was a little surprised that this did go for $11. I felt like e.l.f. would maybe release a powder foundation around like the $7, $8 mark, but people are increasing their prices for a multitude of different reasons, so it's not that it's overly expensive. I guess I just thought it was higher than I was expecting. So that is pretty much it. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the application portion of this video so you can see how it applies with the sponge puff thing included and the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I always have to wear earrings. I'm getting off on a tangent and I haven't even really gotten that much into the video. Okay. But I always have to wear earrings because I have ears that always heal themselves. I guess that's the technical miracle ear. I feel like I look like an e.l.f. pirate, because I don't know, I just feel elfish, and then these earrings piratey. Whatever. We're just gonna go with it. Obviously, I can't really apply this with the Tati Beauty Blendiful. I mean, I guess I could, but I'm not going to on camera because I feel like that's just gonna be kind of odd. I'm just gonna go in on one side with the applicator that they've included, this little old-fashioned puff thing. I say old-fashioned, but you know what I mean. It's not common to use these puff things as much anymore. And then on the other side, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush because that's how I normally apply powder foundation. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but the powder foundation is my favorite all-time powder foundation. This is gonna be kind of running up against what I expect from that one. I kind of expect the same thing from all powder foundations. I don't want them to look super powdery. I know that sounds like kind of contradictory, but I kind of want them to look not super powdery, but kind of like blurring my pores. I want it to be long wearing. I kind of want it to have like medium coverage, and I don't want it to break me out. But that's kind of like, I never want any foundation to break me out, obviously. But we're just gonna jump into this because I'm about to get real Oompa Loompa-ish, but we're just gonna make it work. Obviously, I already have concealer on because I can't put liquid over powder, at least not very well. I used this Catrice True Skin concealer today. I would have used the e.l.f. Camo concealer, like one of those, but honestly, this is just my favorite, so I'm gonna use this. But I'm gonna go on the right side with the puff, and then on the left side with the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, and we're just gonna see how this goes. Just ignore the color. Wow. Oh, it's so yellow. I'm singing Yellow by Coldplay in my head now. Okay, so it's actually kind of shearing out. But I didn't get very much. Let's do, I don't wanna like go in too heavy. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt today, so you can't see. Oh no, this isn't looking very good. But anyway, I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt today, so I can drag my foundation ridiculously low, but then you can't tell like if it matches my arms or not. I bet Thomas is gonna be like, your face is orange. He always likes to let me know. But we're just gonna test the longevity of this and like everything but the shade match. So just ignore that today. It's not that it looks bad, it's that I'm actually kind of having a hard time getting this to blend because it's almost like sticking in like the same spot that I'm applying it in. So I have to keep like dipping it back into this and then going on my face. I'm not the biggest fan of puffs, but in the directions it does say to use this, so I'm trying it the way it says to on its website. It is very blurring. I still feel like you can see some pigmentation. I probably will try to build it. All right, let's go. Like literally, oh my gosh, it's just sticking to the place. It's almost like it's sticking with this. Like I'm having to press really hard to get it to blend with this. I'm hoping with the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, it'll blend better. Typically with powder foundations, I actually prefer them with brushes over like these puff things. I think that these puff things actually are harder on your skin because you usually have to like kind of press them in. And it's not like a gentle pressing motion. I feel like it's a little patchy. It's interesting because like in the mirror, it doesn't look as bad, but like in the camera, it definitely looks patchy. And it's sticking right there. And I didn't put any concealer there. So it's kind of like sticking right there. Not a whole lot of coverage. I can't get this color to blend. Obviously, if I had the right shade, maybe it wouldn't be so noticeable, like the discrepancies. But they are a little bit irritating because like, for example, I self-tan in the summer and I never self-tan my face, so I always depend on my foundation to match like my self-tan. And if it's like sticking like this and not blending, you'll be able to tell that my facial skin is not in fact the same color as the rest of my body is when I self-tan. Okay, so let's go over some of the pros and cons right off the bat. It's very smoothing, not extremely high coverage, kind of patchy. Hating the fact that I can't get it to move on my skin very well with this. And this is the, of course, instructed way to apply this. So I'm a little confused why it's not easier to work with this particular application method. But what I'm gonna do now, because I really can't blend it too much, it's almost like it's sticking. Like where I set it down, I've like kind of mentioned that. Oh, that scared me. We have a screen door like in front of our front door. I actually kind of hate it. We leave it open and sometimes it like the wind will like bang it up against the wall and I always think that somebody's like breaking in or something. I have anxiety. Off the bat, a little patchy. It is smoothing though, but it's kind of hard to work with. But I'm not writing it off yet or anything. I am gonna go in, sorry, I feel like I have a frog in my throat. I had a sinus infection a couple weeks ago and I'm still like dealing with like after effects of that. Okay, so I'm gonna go in on the left side with my Ultimate Blending Brush and just kind of see. Okay, it's very smoothing once again, but it is like still kind of sticking to some areas. I will say it seems to be blending out best with the brush. Like it's not nearly as patchy, in my opinion, as it is on the puff side. Yeah, this side is looking way better than the puff side. I'm gonna finish my forehead and then I'm gonna compare the two sides before I go in with the second layer. Okay, so I just finished this side and I think this looks way smoother and just blended overall much easier than this side. Like this, it's a very smoothing product, but this is not patchy. And this side, however, I think is, I even think it kind of looks like red in some areas, and that's not like my pigmentation. I think it's like the oranginess or like warm undertone of this product kind of just setting down right where I put it instead of blending. So I've got like patchiness just kind of all over the place, but like I've got like it clinging right here and it's just kind of, I much prefer it on this side. I think it looks so much better. I'm hoping you can kind of tell on camera that this side is much better than the puff side, because I'm just not impressed with the puff at all. Like I would just totally like not use this unless you were using this as purely like a powder to set a different foundation and you kind of were just pressing it in with this. I would not suggest using this to apply this product. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to fix this demarcation that I have going on here. And I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a second layer. I'm gonna just use the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush all over my face for the second layer because I really want to see how well this wears throughout the day, and I would prefer that it look the same, like universally all over my face rather than looking patchier on one side than it does on the other. So I'm just gonna skip out on this. I already know that I hate this method of applying it, so there's no reason in even frustrating myself and even bothering if that really won't get any better with applying just more product. Do you know what I'm saying? This is with like 1.5 layers on. I didn't go with like a full layer, but I will say the brush is the way to go with this foundation. This, it's garbage. Does not work, actually makes the product look like it sucks. And this just made it look so smooth and just went on so nicely. Other than the color of the foundation, of course, I think this looks so nice. It is so smoothing, really just kind of makes my pores like disappear. So I think this looks so good. I'm actually quite impressed because when I was first starting this application off, I was like, this is not going very well. But it really was just this that was not working well, but this with the brush worked so nicely. So, of course, we're gonna have to see how it wears before I start telling you to go buy this or whatever. But what I'm gonna do now, of course, is finish the rest of my makeup. I obviously don't need to put powder on my face because that would just be an overload of powder. So I'm gonna put on bronzer, highlighter, and I'll come back and let you know how everything applied over the top of it, give you some initial thoughts, and then we'll go outside in natural lighting. Okay, so I finished the rest of my makeup. I put bronzer, blush, and highlighter on, and I didn't have any problems at all. It all went over so smoothly. I'm really impressed with the way this is looking. I actually really enjoy the finish. I know it's a little bit on the matte side, but it's got like kind of like where it's melted into the skin a little bit, and it's starting to become more of like a natural finish, which I enjoy. I, of course, think that the shade is way off. If I do end up liking this, I'll probably keep this shade for like self-tanning. And then, oh my goodness, I'm all disheveled. And then what I would do is get like a shade that better matches like my arm, because this is just comical. I do really think that it looks amazing finish-wise. I think the brush is the way to go. Don't even bother with the puff. I don't think it blends well at all. I think that it just, with a brush, is just so smooth. It's got nice coverage. I enjoy that it's buildable. I don't really have any complaints with it right now. In the application portion, you saw me complain about the puff, so I don't want to be too redundant. Basically, all I'm saying is just go with the brush. But what I'm gonna do now is go step in natural outside lighting, and I'm going to show you what it looks like out there. Let's see what it's looking like. Okay, so here I am in natural lighting. I'm about to step out in the sun and do an up close because it's sunny, so I want you to be able to see it, but I won't be able to like look and tell you what I think of it in the sunlight until I step back. Also, I'm sorry if you're having a hard time hearing me. There's somebody doing some work or whatever, I don't know. They've dug up part of our yard. Didn't know that. So it's a little loud out here, but I'm gonna do the best I can so you can see it in natural lighting. But let me go ahead and step into the sunlight, and then we'll step back and I'm gonna tell you what I think of it in the natural lighting. All right, so I think it looks so nice out here. I think that obviously the color is a little bit off. We've talked about this. I feel like I'm just beating it into the ground. But I think that the finish looks so nice. I think it's so smooth and it blended nicely with the brush and everything just looks so nice and even and perfected. So far I'm really enjoying this. I hope that I continue to so I can get a shade that matches my winter skin better and then I can keep this for like self-tanning, but we'll see. So I'm gonna do a check-in at 3 o'clock because it is 11 right now. So 3 o'clock will be my first check-in as usual, and then 7 o'clock will be my second check-in, and then of course I'll end it off at 11 o'clock tonight. So you'll have a full 12-hour wear test, but for now I'm gonna go about my day and I'll see you guys at 3 o'clock for the first check-in. Okay, so it is 3 o'clock, so welcome to the first check-in. Overall, I mean, it's really just pretty much stayed the exact same as it was 4 hours ago. It hasn't even really gotten much dewy or anything. And it really hasn't even fallen into any smile lines, so I'm pretty pleased. The color is hilarious in this particular lighting. I'm standing in my dining room and it's like just comically so dark. I do think that it's wearing really nicely so far. Of course, we're only 4 hours in, so that's not like a significant amount of time that has passed. But as you have seen in some of these videos, I've had some issues with some foundations at the 4-hour mark. So I'm pretty happy with how this is wearing. Of course, we will see how it continues to wear throughout the day, but right now, I mean, it's looking pretty good. So I don't have much to say other than that. So I will see you in the second check-in at 7 o'clock. Okay, so ignore the fact that all of my lipstick came off. We just got back from eating dinner. This mouth area is just looking real interesting. By the way, it's the second check-in. So the makeup has been on for 8 hours, and honestly, except for some minor creasing, I feel like it looks okay. A little bit has worn off here, which I think is a little weird because I don't really remember touching my face a lot. But other than the creasing, like the minor creasing right here and the little bit worn off on my chin, I actually think it looks all right. I feel like it is getting a little dewy, which is interesting for powder foundation. I'm okay with this level of dew, but I just wanted to note it because I know some people don't like really any dew or anything like that, or you're just maybe wanting to know like what the dew level is. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's okay. Right now I'd say it's about a 7 out of 10. So we'll see how it continues to wear, but for 8 hours I feel like it's an okay wear. A little disappointed about the chin being worn off. It's not really settling into pores necessarily. It just looks like I like touched my chin a lot even though it didn't. So yeah, I just wanted to note that. But I feel like I'll look a little bit more put together after I fix my lipstick. That's what's going on now, so we'll see how it looks at 12 hours. But for now, that is all I have for you guys, so I'll see you in a little bit. All right, so it's 11 o'clock right now, so welcome to the third and final check-in. Pretty much the only thing that's changed since the 8-hour check-in is that it's gotten even dewier, like especially on my forehead. Even this level of dew for me is a little bit much, so normally I would like blot it or try to get rid of that. But for 12 hours, like it looks pretty good. The smile line is pretty obvious, a little bit rubbed off on my nose and on my upper like Cupid's bow area. So I'm not loving that, but overall for 12 hours, I feel like it's relatively long lasting. My JCat one lasts 12 hours pretty well, but every other powder foundation I've tried doesn't last that long. So I think that for 12 hours it looks pretty good. It stayed in place all right. I am pretty ready to take my makeup off though. Like I don't like want to keep it on any longer because it just kind of feels like kind of greasy, so there is that. Overall, I actually think this was relatively successful. It's not my favorite foundation I tried for this series, but you'll learn more about that in tomorrow's video, but I do think it was actually pretty good. So that is it for episodes of this Foundation 5 season. I hope you guys liked this series and have been loving the videos I've been putting out and are excited for the roundup video tomorrow. I know I am, so you can hear more in-depth, detailed thoughts and rankings, pros and cons, application tips, etc., so on and so forth for each of the foundations I tried. I hope that you found the videos entertaining, helpful, detailed, and informative, and that you just overall liked them. If you did like this video and liked the rest of the videos, please make sure you're giving them a thumbs up and hit the notification bell down below so you know when the roundup video goes up tomorrow and when future videos go up as well. And also subscribe if you're not already. I hope you guys liked this series. I will see you guys in the roundup video tomorrow, and we'll delve deeper into details and thoughts and ratings, pros and cons, and all of that good stuff for all of the foundations I tried. But for now, that is it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.